here, but mothers that have experienced trauma or have a history of mental health issues can also find breastfeeding a little bit triggering. So how do you support mothers like this, and what kind of tips would you give them to reassure themselves in getting the appropriate care and taking care of themselves during this time?
I think one of the biggest components of anything that has to deal with postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, is knowing it exists. Getting into therapy, knowing that you have a problem. If you have a problem with depression and anxiety prior to having a baby, it's going to raise. Your incidence of PPD and PPA are going to be at a higher risk because you already suffer with those conditions. But I always tell moms, the more you learn, the better off you are and the more empowered you are. So while there's even birth stories that are traumatic for moms, and I always tell them, what would you have done different in that situation, in that scenario? What did you need that you weren't being given? And for a lot of moms with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, it's support. It is having someone and expressing to someone, this is really hard for me. I'm having a hard time. I feel like I'm being juggled 50 different directions and I don't know up from down. And having someone not say to you, well, why don't you just stop doing that? Mm-hmm. Because, wow, I didn't think of that. Those logical things, sometimes you've got to find support. And I can't say enough. I go live almost every day of the week. And that's what we do. We just support each other. I also offer a monthly support group. But I think having people and surrounding yourself with people who have gone through certain things, and sometimes the trauma of breastfeeding, if there is a trauma related response there, is finding out why things went bad the first time, right? And if it's because I just didn't feed my baby enough, and you can explore that with someone who is a professional and go backwards, I always want to know why. Why are we where we are? And then I can not pick apart, but I can figure out, oh, we got there and we had this low weight gain or this failure to thrive kiddo because we just weren't feeding enough in the beginning. So let's work the problem at the beginning for the next journey that you have. And what can I teach you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love a common theme of what you're talking about is like being aware of what you're feeling, what's going on, and also like empowering yourself in these different, if you're feeling a certain way, like, talking to someone, getting a support group, it's so powerful being aware first and foremost. So I love that you keep bringing that up.